Been to the beach recently to try and escape this crazy heat. You may have noticed also some small spots of oil washed up from the Gulf of Mexico. Experts say they are aware of it and notice it as far north as the Port Aransas jetty.
Of course, oil does wash up on our beaches from time to time, and there are different reasons for it. Our Brandon Schaff joins us in studio tonight with more about what those causes might be and what can be done about it. Brandon?
Hey, good evening, guys. And experts tell me that the amount of oil on our area beaches is not a concern. If the percentage is greater than 5% of a large area, for example, that could be a sign of a larger problem. But they say that the amount that's there right now is currently less than that. Now, here's a look at something that you might find on the beach. There are some small spots of oil. In this case, it appears to be on a piece of wood. And Nueces County Coastal Parks Director Scott Cross says that they are trained to look for signs of an oil spill.
Not aware of any kind of a rig accident, oil spill, or anything like that. I'm actually in communication with the Texas General Land Office Oil Spill Response Division that's here out of Corpus. I talked to them today. They're doing some cleanup.
That cleanup over at J.P. Luby Beach today, and Cross says that the Texas GLO and U.S. Coast Guard would need to get involved if the amount of oil on the beach reaches a certain amount. And he also says that you should avoid stepping on it, advising people to bring baby oil with them when they're cooling off this summer so they can wash it off of themselves. And UT Marine Science Institute Director Dr. Ed Buskey says that it's common for oil to wash up on beaches with such a high volume of petroleum exports from our port and crude oil in the Gulf of Mexico.
In Texas, it's not that unusual to be able to find, small bits of oil on the beach. It really doesn't pose a great danger. If there was a big volume of it, then it would be a problem.
And Dr. Buskey says that UTMSI has the ability to fingerprint oil from spills similar to DNA for humans, and that can usually trace the source of the oil. He also says that the Texas GLO typically checks for oil spills first, and NOAA will get involved if one is found. Action is then taken depending on the source to mitigate the spill. And Cross says that the amount of oil that we see might now be coming from ships in the Gulf of Mexico. There's also a possibility that it could be natural oil coming from the bottom of the Gulf. Experts say that it's not much of a danger, but could be harmful to wildlife if they consume it accidentally. Leslie, Mike, back to you.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much.